Hi, I'm Sean Walker with AGI, and today we're going to Rio.
Delivery!
All right, so what we have here is we have Yamaha's Rio 1608. What is that? Rio stands for R Series IO, and this is a 1608, which has 16 inputs and 8 outputs. So this is Yamaha's Dante interface for their CL and QL consoles. So if you have one of those consoles and you're wanting to upgrade, this will give you 16 channels in, 8 channels out, and we're gonna open it up, take a look at it, and see what's involved. All right, so first we have our power cable, which you're thinking, wow, power cable, no big deal. This one is really cool that Yamaha has put on this little clip. So when you plug this in, it locks in place and it won't pull out. But it's real easy to pull it back out when you need to, but it keeps people from tripping over your cables and pulling stuff out in the middle of a service. That would be not good. So we'll look at that later. Let's see what else we have here. We have things that are important, it says. So let's take a look at this. Dante virtual sound card. So you, first off, anything that says important and in yellow, got to read that, right? So this is Dante virtual sound card token. So you get a free download of their sound card. So what this will let you do is record and playback from your PC or your Mac straight onto the Dante network from your computer. So that's really cool. Make sure that you don't throw that away just thinking it's nothing. So that's really cool. Another piece of paper here telling us not to shock ourselves. That's good. Follow those instructions. Here's the owner's manuals. So we get one in English, French, and Spanish. So that's cool. We'll be taking a look at those here in a second. But first, let's open this up and see what it looks like. So here we go. Don't need styrofoam. Don't need this stuff. Let's get this out of here. I feel like there should be a sound effect. All right, and there we go. Look at that, that's awesome. So, take a look at the front here. There we go. So this would be 16 channels of input, 8 channels of output. So here's all your inputs, and each channel gets a little phantom power indicator, gets a signal indicator, and then it gets a peak indicator. So even if you're backstage and just happen to be by the rack, you can see if something's clipping. You don't have to be at the console to see if that's going on. You get a unit ID knob right here, and so that's if you have a lot of these in a rack. Each one gets its own unit ID so that you can see which one's which. And then this is your dip switches. We'll see that in the manual, that you change that depending on your networking preferences and different deals. Now you have some Dante lights here on the front, so you can see without having to turn the unit around, you can see if the Dante is working correctly. Here's your 48 volt master and your power switch, so that's great. That comes with rack ears on it, and they seem to be really sturdy. A lot of equipment you'll open up, it has little itty bitty rack ears, and you're not really sure if it's going to hold up, but this is really, really strong. And it also comes with feet on it. So if you want to, if you're setting this on stage somewhere and you're just setting it on another rack or something like that, it does have feet on it, so it's not going to scratch up any of your other equipment. Let's turn it around and look at the back here. On the back you have your 2 Dante ports, which are nice locking ports there, so that's really good. Again, you have the same lights you have on the front on the back, so you can see that everything is good and working there. You have a nice fan with a switch, so again, if it's on stage and maybe it's sitting next to a drum cage or something like that, you can have that on low, or if you have it in a rack off stage, you can have that on high, so that's nice. And then you have your power connector here. So let's take a look at this and see how well this works with this clipping in and clipping out. Let's see here, set that there. So we'll plug it in. and that goes in really easy. All right, let's try to take it out. Yep, that works really well. So it's not one of those deals where you have to go get a screwdriver and take it apart and do the whole thing with it. It's just real simple, so that's great. Safety precaution there. So that, turn that around again, there you go. That's what that looks like. All right, so let's take a look at the owner's manual real quick. Here we have the model we're looking at today is the 1608. So we'll open this up and look at this. First page, of course, don't shock yourself. That would be bad. Second page, don't shock yourself. That would also be bad. And then we have, here's a picture of the 3224 model that has 32 inputs. It still has the same 16 outputs, but it has 4 AES outputs. That's how they get the 24 there. And so if you're going to a digital recorder or anything like that, that's pretty nice to have. It also tells you about your dip switches and how to change those for your different networking settings. So you have that. Talks about here your primary and secondary connectors, so both of your Dante ports on the back, and about how to set those up depending on your network. If you're going to do a daisy chain where all your boxes are nice and neat in a rack somewhere, or if it's a redundant network where you're using switches and maybe there's some boxes in different locations, that sort of stuff. How to think about your head amps are now not in your console anymore. They're in this Rio rack. So there's all your settings and different ways to work with that there. Your troubleshooting, so your lights again on the front and the back to show you if things have stopped working or things aren't set up correctly to help you get this up and running as fast as possible. And then just your specification page, some diagrams, and that's a look at the owner's manual. So that's been our overview of the Yamaha Rio 1608D. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below. We'd love to hear from you. Again, I'm Sean with AGI. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Hi, I'm Sean Walker with AGI, and today we're going to Rio.
Delivery! You have to move your hands.